Hi, this is Catherine Roseanne with Board Game Geek. I'm sitting here with Shadi Torbay from Z-Man Games, and he's here to talk about Castellion. It's beautiful artwork here. Lots of lovely little pieces, sorry.
Should I start?
Yes,
okay,
please.
Great. So Castellion is the fourth game in the Universe series of games, and the third in this box size after Onirium and Sylvion. And all this series, all the game of the series can be played either as solitaire games or as two-player cooperative games. And in Castellion, you have to save the world of dreams from the attack of an horrible entity, the menace that you see here. Yeah, exactly. It's on the box. It's this little guy here. And the only thing that can stop it would be to build a castle that can withstand its attacks.
All right.
And you are going to build the castle using those tiles here, those defender tiles.
Okay.
And a defender tile shows you a defender in the middle, those little guys. You have, as you see, 4 types of defenders. You have also 3 different motifs, forms in the background, shapes, the triangle, the circle, and the square. So, when it's your turn, it's a very simple flow actually. You draw the first tile of the deck. And then you have to decide immediately if you want to play it on the table, thus expanding your castle in order to build a castle that can resist those attacks, or if you rather discard the tile. You may want to discard the tile either because it doesn't really fit in the construction you want to do to defeat the menace, or because you want to use the power of the defender. Because if you discard a defender, you will trigger a power, and the power will depend on the type of defender you discard. So that's basically the rules in 2 minutes. I can go a little bit more in detail, telling you that there are some very simple tile laying rules. First one being that obviously, except the first one, you have to play a tile next to a tile that already is
so an orthogonal.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
diagonal.
No diagonal, no. Second rule would be that, let me do this. You cannot float tiles up the air, so this would, you have to imagine that you are looking at your castle.
And it's from the ground up.
Exactly. So this would be, for instance, the beginning of a tower, and this wouldn't work because
it
floating.
Would fall down.
Exactly. So this is the second rule. Third rule, your castle cannot be bigger than 6 by 6.
All right.
And last rule, as you see, I told you there was those different forms. You cannot put, except for the first line, let's say it's like this. Those were the 2 first tiles that you played, and you draw this. Except for the first line, you cannot put next to each other tiles that have the same form in the background. So the circle here, this you can do because it is the first line.
But if it had been the second line, and let's say there was another piece here, you would not be able to.
No, because he's next to it. You couldn't do this either because it would be so. Those are the rules of the building rules, I would say. And then the discard rule. Well, the effects would be, if you discard the juggler, would be to swap 2 tiles that are already in your castle, which means you can break the rules. The tile laying rules.
So the abilities are basically breaking the rules.
Yeah, exactly. The pyro has more or less the same power. It's more interesting, obviously, if you have a bigger construction. Those are the bad guys. I will leave it for later. But let's say you really want to put this tile on top of those, and let's say you draw this guy. If you discard him, you have to destroy 1 tile from your castle. You can decide which. Let's say I discard this one, and then you may move wherever you want another tile. So thus you can change the shape of your castle. The seer allows you to draw 4 tiles, and you know which are the 4 next tiles that you are going to play. And the chameleon allows you to take back from the discard a tile that has the same architectural motif. So let's say I displayed and discarded this earlier. I draw this, I decide to discard it to take back this guy, and then I can decide to discard it to trigger an effect or to play it. So this is basically the game. Obviously you need a bad guy. I told you he is going to come and destroy the castle. He actually has bad guys infiltrated within those guys. You see, it's the same background, and you have those traitor tiles hidden among the nice defenders. When you draw a certain amount of traitor tiles, you trigger the corresponding ordeal card. And then at this point, if this card is triggered, you have to have the castle built according to the type of attack you are going to face. So let's take those, I will take an easier one. This bad guy here is coming, actually I told you, the menace is a shape-shifting monster. It's a little bit like the thing in Carpenter's movie, you know, it's always changing. So here it takes the shape of a flying monster. To stop it, you need towers. You see, you need 2 towers. A tower are 4 tiles that present the same color, the same defender, one above the other. So this would be a tower. So if you have 2 of them in your castle, you will survive this. Otherwise, he will inflict a big amount of destruction on your castle. Or in other versions of the game, you will lose the game if you don't have what you need. And so this is triggered by a certain amount of those traitor tiles. So this is the timing matter.
So there's come one now, and then we know if another one of these comes,
then you are done if you haven't built 2 towers.
So therefore you have to try to do your best to build the second tower.
Using the powers and building accordingly to get there.
I see there's one more type of tower, tile that we haven't talked about.
Those actually, this is the clean deck. As you see, you have much more of those little red one, and you have 12 blue.
And
those blue, this is an expansion actually. Yeah, I will come to it in a second. Those guys, you know that among those 12 tiles, you only have nice guys. So
so it's a safe place to pick them.
Exactly, but you only have 12 of them. You have much more of those red ones, but in the red ones you have obviously the bad guys hidden.
And then in the expansion there'll be some
in the expansion
special
actually
rules.
This is the special stuff that you have. This is the reserve of food that you have to add to your castle in order to survive the attack. So you have some extra rules to spice it up a little bit.
Fantastic, thank you. And you said 1 to 2 players.
Yeah,
How long will a game take?
I mean, if you know it, 5 to 20 minutes, depending how fast it goes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's
you.
Castellion from Z-Man Games.